I'm Xinhua's correspondent Wu Hao. The People's Republic of China officially inaugurated its embassy in the Republic of Honduras on Monday, following the establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries on March 26. Since less than 3 months, both countries have accelerated coordination and cooperation in fields such as economy, agriculture, science and technology, culture, education, and media. Before the inauguration, we have interviewed some of the people from different areas to learn about their opinions on this topic. Now we have invited Rodolfo Pastor, Secretary of Presidency. Secretary, since the establishment of relations between China and Honduras, what progress have been made in this time?
Well, it's a very young relationship, but we have made significant progress. We have had a visit by a very important number of Honduran journalists who have been traveling around China throughout 2 weeks, and they've been able to see what China is about, meet the Chinese people, understand Chinese culture better, and that is obviously a very important issue. We now have an ongoing visit by our main businessmen, and we have our Undersecretary for Economic Development who's visiting with them, and we are reaching out to Chinese businessmen and business persons because we are very interested in promoting the investment and the commercial relationships between our countries.
In this case, more information, for example, about the journalists to China and how they share their experience of their visits with you.
Well, they were transmitting from China as they traveled around the country, and they were obviously very impressed by the Chinese economic development, urban centers, the progress that has been made in China throughout the recent decades, lifting people out of poverty so significantly, and that is something that we want to achieve too. So it was inspiring to them, and in commercial terms, we have had a visit of Chinese officials who have been to the country. They visited some of our main export-oriented agriculture and industrial centers, and we will be interested in being able to export a number of Honduran products that will be accepted by the Chinese people.
And what kind of products will be in the Chinese markets as these relations, and what kind of new products will Chinese customers, consumers will have?
Honduras is a very important producer of fresh tilapia, of shrimp. We also produce a very high quality coffee. We have production of melon, cantaloupe, and also okra. And we have been exporting these products to other parts of the world, but now we are very interested in having access to the enormous Chinese market for these products too.
And in case of some cultural interactions, for example, what kind of Chinese culture would you like Honduran people see in the relations?
Well, China is such a big country and has such a rich and a millennial culture, so we are very interested in getting to know China better. It's great diversity even within that country. Honduras obviously is much smaller, but we are also very rich in terms of our culture. We are the birthplace of the Mayan culture, and we are very proud of it too. We also have other indigenous groups, and we invite Chinese people to come and visit and to get to know us better. We also would love to be able to travel to China and also get to know better all that diversity of cultures that make China up.
And finally, do you have some words for Chinese people?
Well, I am very excited to be part of this historical establishment of relationships between our peoples and our country. This is for us an enormous opportunity, and we are very, very hopeful that China and Honduras will be partners in developing our countries and our peoples. And I look forward to seeing more Chinese people in Honduras and also be able to visit China very soon.
Thank you so much, Secretary, for your comments. And now my colleague Hao Chen will give us more information.
Thank you, Wu Hao. So we are now in the commercial center of the city of Tegucigalpa. Let's hear what the Honduras people has to say about the relationship between China and Honduras and what do they expect following the opening of the Chinese embassy here? So first, can you make an introduction about yourself? Tell us your name and what is your job?
Okay, my name is Aurelia Castro. I'm a chemical engineer and I'm an assessor of management systems. I'm also an auditor, and exactly I work specifically in international standards such as ISO 9001, 22000, etc.
Okay, so China and Honduras just established diplomatic relations, and in your expertise, so can you tell us what's your impression about China?
Okay, I don't know much about China, but I do know that there's been a recent change in the relationship, and that is going to be opening more doors for companies from China to come close to Honduras and start operating in Honduras. That might give Honduras an opportunity in job generation as well as incomes.
And the Chinese embassy is opening in the city of Tegucigalpa. And so what kind of opportunities do you think this relationship with China can bring to the states of Honduras and also its young people?
Well, I don't know if it will happen this way. I do hope that it's something certain that the government has done, and I hope that this relationship can bring young people job opportunities.
What kind of job are you taking?
Well, my name is Elir Andres. I have 22 years, and I work in the area of consulting.
So what's your impression about China? Because you know we just have this diplomatic relationship between China and Honduras.
Yes, I think China, having a relationship with China is very important. I think that the young people here, all the students in different universities, they now can have new aspirations in China. For example, they can go for a university, for a new job, for importing new products and many other things.
So can you tell us what's your major back in the university?
Oh yes, I studied international relations at Unitec.
So what's your opinion about this new kind of relationship? What kind of opportunity can this relationship bring to the states of Honduras and also to the young people in Honduras?
Well, I think that the young people here in Honduras, all the new professionals, they can have a very good, for example, a very good option for going to China and studying, and it's going to be very good for Honduras. That's my hope, having a diplomat relation with China, because we are going to have new opportunities, and that's a new thing, a very important thing that all young people here in Honduras need to know.
And do you have any future plan relating to China? For example, traveling to China, studying China, or working in China?
Yeah, sure. I would love to go to China, and if I take that decision to visiting, I will do it, because you have a very good places, you have a very rich culture, a very rich economy, and that's very beautiful.
You work in the consulting business. Do you expect for Chinese company to come to?
Yeah, I hope. I would love, for example, to come to visit a Chinese enterprise here in Honduras, and for example, offering them my consulting services in many areas. So yes, I would love that.
Okay, thank you very much for accepting our interview.
Okay, thank you to you.
So first, can you make an introduction about yourself, about your name, your age, and your job?
Sure, Jose. My name is Francisco. I'm 40 years old. I work here in Honduras, working with national banking.
So Francisco, you just told us that you have, before you also have a relation with China. You've been working with Chinese company. Can you explain a little for us?
Sure. It's really important for me to get to know the Chinese embassy is going to be established here in Tegucigalpa, because there's a lot of opportunities in order to our people here in Honduras to make business directly with Chinese enterprises and companies. That's a great news here in Honduras, and I'm very pleased with that.
So as an expert in commerce, what's your opinion about this relationship between China and Honduras? What kind of opportunity do you think is going to bring to this country of Honduras and also its young people?
Honduras people are seeking the opportunity to make business, and that's a great news, because this is going to open a new branch of businesses get access to excellent prices directly from China. So I think that will be improve our quality of life here in Honduras.
So you've been an old friend with China. So can you tell us a little bit about your future plan concerning China, for example, visiting China and working in China, for example?
Sure, why not? I would love to visit China. As a matter of fact, I'm seeking knowledge to learn your language, the Chinese language, because it's very important for me to get in touch with so many companies there in China, and to get to know some more business opportunities that we can came across.
Thank you very much, Francisco.
I do appreciate your time. Thank you.
We will see you in China.
Thanks.